Have you ever felt a deep sense of resistance on Sunday night, knowing that Monday morning would take you back to a job you secretly dislike? Many people experience this feeling regularly. They feel bored, stressed, or emotionally drained at work, yet they continue to show up every day. This situation is surprisingly common. The question is not whether people hate their jobs, but why so many of them choose to stay. The most obvious reason is financial security. Work provides income, and income provides stability. Bills need to be paid, rent or mortgages must be covered, and families depend on that monthly paycheck. Even if a job feels meaningless or exhausting, it still offers something extremely valuable: predictability. In a world that often feels uncertain, a stable salary can feel like a lifeline. For many people, especially those supporting children or aging parents, quitting without a clear plan seems irresponsible. As a result, they convince themselves that emotional discomfort is a reasonable price to pay for financial safety. However, money alone does not fully explain the situation. Fear of the unknown plays a powerful role. Humans naturally prefer familiarity, even when it is unpleasant. A job someone hates may still feel comfortable in a strange way because it is predictable. They know the routines, the expectations, and even the office politics. Starting over in a new company or a new field brings uncertainty. What if the new job is worse? What if they fail? What if they regret the decision? These questions create anxiety. For many, the discomfort of a known problem feels easier to handle than the risk of an uncertain future. Social expectations also trap people in jobs they dislike. From a young age, many of us are taught to follow a traditional path: study hard, get a good job, earn a stable income, and climb the career ladder. Society often measures success by job titles and salaries. When someone has a respected position, others admire them, even if they are unhappy. Leaving such a job can feel like giving up status or disappointing family members. Some people worry about being judged as ungrateful or lazy. The pressure to maintain a certain image can be stronger than the desire for personal fulfillment. Another important factor is identity. Over time, a job becomes more than just a way to earn money. It becomes part of who we are. When someone introduces themselves, they often mention their profession. After years in the same field, it becomes deeply connected to their self-image. If they leave, they may wonder, "Who am I without this title?" This identity crisis can be frightening. Staying in a hated job sometimes feels easier than rebuilding a sense of self from the beginning. There is also the psychological concept of the sunk cost. Many people invest years of education, training, and effort into their careers. They may have spent a large amount of money on university degrees or professional certifications. When they realize they are unhappy, they hesitate to leave because they do not want to waste those years. They think about all the sacrifices they made and feel that quitting would make those sacrifices meaningless. Unfortunately, this mindset can keep them trapped even longer. Low self-confidence is another hidden reason. Some people secretly believe they are not capable of doing anything better. They doubt their skills and underestimate their potential. They may think, "I am too old to start again," or "I am not talented enough to succeed elsewhere." These beliefs may not be true, but they feel real. When someone lacks confidence, change seems overwhelming. It feels safer to remain in an unsatisfying job than to risk failure in a new one. Workplace culture can also normalize unhappiness. In many offices, complaining about stress and boredom becomes part of daily conversation. People joke about hating Mondays or counting the hours until Friday. Over time, this attitude becomes normal. If everyone around you is dissatisfied, you may assume that work is supposed to feel this way. You stop questioning whether it could be different. You accept unhappiness as a normal part of adult life. Family responsibilities add further complexity. Someone with children or financial obligations may feel that their personal happiness is less important than stability. They may see staying in the job as an act of responsibility. While this decision can be understandable and even admirable, it often comes at an emotional cost. Over time, constant dissatisfaction can lead to exhaustion and resentment. The sacrifice that once felt meaningful can begin to feel heavy. Another reason people stay is gradual adaptation. Rarely does someone suddenly wake up and hate their job completely. Usually, dissatisfaction grows slowly. At first, they may feel slightly bored. Then they lose motivation. Later, they begin to feel emotionally disconnected from their work. Because this change happens, have you every adjust step by step. By the time they realize how unhappy they are, years may have passed. Leaving at that point feels complicated and risky. Hope can also keep people in place. They tell themselves that things will improve. Maybe a new manager will arrive. Maybe they will get promoted. Maybe the next project will be more interesting. This hope allows them to tolerate the present situation. In some cases, improvement does come, but often the change is smaller than expected. People continue waiting for a better future that never fully arrives. Comfort zones are powerful. Even a stressful job can feel safe because it matches a person's current skills and habits. Changing careers often requires learning new abilities, meeting new people, and facing rejection. Growth involves discomfort. For many, the pain of staying feels more manageable than the fear of growth. They choose the familiar struggle over the uncertain challenge. Modern culture also contributes to this problem. Being busy and overworked is sometimes seen as a sign of importance. People proudly say they have no time to rest. In such an environment, dissatisfaction may seem normal. If everyone appears tired and stressed, you may feel that wanting joy or balance is unrealistic. This belief makes it harder to imagine a different lifestyle. Interestingly, some people stay because they fear that changing jobs will not solve their deeper dissatisfaction. What if the problem is not the company, but their own lack of direction? It can be uncomfortable to face deeper questions about purpose and values. Blaming the job is easier than examining personal choices. Remaining in the same position allows them to avoid these difficult reflections. Yet staying in a hated job has consequences. Long-term dissatisfaction can affect mental health. It can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, and even physical symptoms such as headaches or fatigue. It can damage relationships as frustration from work spills into family life. When someone spends most of their time in an environment that drains them, it slowly shapes their overall outlook on life. This does not mean that everyone should quit immediately at the first sign of unhappiness. Every job includes challenges and difficult moments. The key difference lies between temporary stress and long-term misalignment. If a job consistently conflicts with a person's values, interests, or strengths, ignoring that conflict can be harmful. Recognizing the reasons for staying is the first step toward making a conscious decision. In the end, many people remain in jobs they hate because of a complex mix of fear, responsibility, social pressure, habit, and self-doubt. These reasons are deeply human. Security and stability are important. Responsibility toward family is meaningful. At the same time, personal growth and fulfillment also matter. The real issue is awareness. When people understand why they are staying, they regain some control. They can decide whether the security is worth the sacrifice. They can begin preparing for change slowly, perhaps by saving money, developing new skills, or exploring different interests. Change does not always require a dramatic decision. Sometimes it starts with small steps and honest reflection. Staying in a job you hate does not necessarily mean you are weak or unambitious. It often means you are navigating complicated circumstances. But life is long, and the hours we spend working make up a significant part of it. Asking yourself, is this where I truly want to be, can be uncomfortable, yet it is a powerful question. Sometimes, the simple act of questioning your situation opens the door to possibility. Whether you ultimately choose to stay or leave, making that choice consciously rather than automatically can transform your experience. The goal is not to judge those who remain, but to encourage clarity. Because once you understand the reasons behind your decision, you move from feeling trapped to recognizing that you still have agency. And that awareness, even before any external change, is often the first step toward a more intentional and meaningful life.